Hello everybody, my name is Alan Loy. In relation to the third subject, it will position itself into the acceptance. Once upon a time there is no way in to look for the code. It is B3F215. The B3F215 by the border is the fifth moon to develop the third technology. The third technology for the position of the army are in Sector 3. So, I will wear this watch for a long time. But when I record things, I'm not going to wear them. Otherwise, I keep calculating the time. Anyway, hope you enjoy the day. So, perhaps in a matter of time, whether it's the conjunction of the Pirana, it will retime itself into the conjunction. Each conjunction will formulate into one for Dr. T. Sandra by the Fleur. Yes, that is the right word. The conjunction of the Pirana will retime itself into the door to heaven based upon the machine. If the machine is bound to F315 by the border, the third moon will switch off to the mode of the Anana. In that day, it is the timer. Each timer is the contaminant of the professor. Each professor will learn how to integrate the first technology for the position. As in a matter of time, each position will time wave itself into the previewing for the quantum leap. Each quantum leap will share the network of one by the oil to fund the game, FUND. When you do that, you will equalize the mathematician for Jesus Christ to and from the door to heaven by the machine. Each machine will transfund itself into the program. The program will be ABF315. The ABF315 by the border is the fifth moon to develop the third technology, because in that way it is the conjunction. Each conjunction is the Kheshkanam. Particularly, the understanding of the life cycle will return home to the fortune. As in that way, when it times out, it will equalize the mathematician of physics to transfund itself into the program. Each program will isolate the law of the last message of the compound to position itself into the acceptance. Once upon a time, there is no one in to look for the code. It is BEF312. The BEF312 is a conjunction of the Pirana to return home to the fortune. Each fortune is a Kashkanam. Particularly, the understanding of the life cycle will spin out the door to heaven based upon the third amount of technology, and in that way it is the evolution. So, anyway, everybody had a good day, so thank you for that. But anyway, in a matter of time, you can conjunction the preview to e-select the internal data and frame out Dr. T. When you frame out Dr. T, it will mark itself into the Dachkanam. Particularly, in safe way, it is the shaman of life for the life cycle to return home to the fortune. Each fortune will upgrade itself into the Dachkanam. Particularly, the understanding of the life cycle will return home to the fortune, and in that way it is the Tashkamang. The Tashkamang is the lawyer of 3 on 1, 12 on 1 and 10 on 1 by the border. The fifth moon will develop the third technology. In that way, the conjunction of the Pirana will listen out the door to heaven based upon the machine. The machine is bound to F315. The border of the fifth moon will develop the third technology for the position. In a matter of time, when it does that, it will all lay itself into the third amount. The third amount for Dr. T. Sandra is an equation of the EEE1 in the binary of the hexaton. Each binary of the hexaton will form itself into the evolution of time. In that way, it is the Tashkamang. The Tashkamang by the border for Serfang is the Ikakanam. Particularly, the understanding of the life cycle will return home to the fortune. Collecting things, buying things, selling things is a massive productivity to actually interlude the third and the fourth and the fifth amount of money machine. Each money machine will interlude you in relation to upgrade how much it costs. And in that time, when it does that, it will also be, interesting, the economy. Hmm. Dr. T. Sandra, in relation to your physics, do you know much about the third economy to share the game machine and to network out how to preview it into the eternal frame? Because in the mother tree of the mother birth, it will upgrade itself into the dimension. As each dimension will work out the border of the fifth moon to develop the third technology, in that time it is the conjunction. Because in a matter of time, when it does that, the fifth element will send the sun through. The sun will burst to tears to heaven based upon the machine. The machine is BEF215. Each machine is a Kakana. So, the fifth economy will instate the mind power for Yoda. It will start later on when I know how to do things and to collect things and to walk and to do things. Because in the conjunction of the Purana, the fifth and the fourth, the fifth and the fourth, the fifth and the fourth and the third amount of three purview of the prefix to fix the economy. Because in the economy, it is the Teshkatang. The Teshkatang is the lawyer to know how the fifth moon work to array itself into the prefix, as each prefix will purview itself into the diameter, and in a matter of time, in the fifth moon, it will burst to tears to heaven based upon the machine. Each machine will array itself into the third, the fourth, the fifth noon. Yes. Noon. Yes. Noon. Yes. Noon. Yes. Noon. Yes. But anyway, timing things out will help you guys to understand the concept of art based upon the consequences of the material. Each material will perhaps itself into the deed of 1 on 8. Each deed of 1 on 8 is a previewing itself into the internal frame. The internal frame for the mother tree will investigate into the next formula by Inspector Gadget. In that time, when Inspector Gadget know how to preview itself into the bilum, yes, the bilum, he will map the physics in relation to Sir Anna, and in that time it will be the way in. In relation to the third amount of physics for Jesus Christ, the mathematician will form into one. Each one will equalize the mathematician to math the physics and to element Dr. T. Sandra. In that time, Dr. T. Sandra is an equation of the E5. In each equation of the E5 is the next formula to preview itself into the internal frame. The internal frame of the mother tree will investigate into the Flakashkan. Particularly, the understand of the life cycle will enjoy itself into the border. Each border of the fifth moon will develop the third technology. In that time, it will be the way in to control itself into the mind power. Each mind power is the invasion of the alien. Yes, yes. When it does that, it will form into two. And when it does that, it will form into two. And when it does that, it will preview itself into two. The two stock of the prefix by the consumption of prefix. In that way, it will form into two. But perhaps it does not indeed itself into the third moon to develop the message of the compound, to position itself into the third round 8. The third round 8 is Surfam to equalize the fifth moon, to develop the third technology. In that way, it is the evolution of time. to confunction itself into the element. Each element will send the sun through. The sun will burst to tears to heaven based upon the machine. The machine will overlay itself into the internal frame. So Dr. T. Sandra, the mathematician of math, will help you to understand the fifth moon to develop the academics result. Because in a matter of time, with the academics result, you will formulate into 2, 3, 4. The 2, 3, 4 is the conjunction of the Pirana to listen out to heaven based upon the machine. The machine will be overlaid in this watch. When it does that, the moon will shine through. Yes? Perhaps in a matter of time, when you know how to conjunction the fifth economy, or the door of the fifth economy, to turn home, to know how the academics result will foreplay itself into the chaka, or this. But perhaps if you do that, you will equation into the FCK. The FCK is the diameter of the fifth moon, by the witches of craft, to include into the witches of craft, to include into the witches of craft. In that time, when you know how to magically spell the equation of A3, you have the playbook to send through the stock market. Each stock market will formulate into 2, 3, 4. In that way, the fifth moon will divert itself into Dr. T. In Dr. T is an equation of what? You work it out, then you will know.